Jordan here, and today we talk about the harsh beef between 6ix9ine and Anuel, from being best friends and making music together to beefing and hating each other. Let's start from the beginning. So I'm sure all of you know who 6ix9ine is, but most of you might not know who Anuel is, so let's give him a small summary. Anuel was a young kid from Puerto Rico. His father worked for the company Sony, so Anuel's always been tapped into the music. But as a young kid, Anuel had to get into the streets to make his own money after his father lost his job at Sony. And after years of doing that and also trying to make music, eventually he got arrested and got locked up for possession of firearms. So he ends up serving around 2 years from 2016 to 2018. And you know who else was popping at that time, right? Anyways, the same day Anuel was released from prison, he also dropped an album that also went #1. And in an interview, he is asked who would he like to work with in the music industry. And Anuel says, with 6ix9ine, with Tekashi, because he's a crazy kid just like me.
Artista con el que tú quisieras colaborar.
Con 6ix9ine, con Tekashi.
Rapidito, ¿por qué?
Porque es un loco igual que
And from an interview that came out last year, 6ix9ine said right after Fifi dropped, he saw the interview with Anuel and asked who was he, and someone responded by saying he was a lit rapper who came out of prison. So what happened after that? Well, 6ix9ine needed to get an album ready for a deal he had with his record label, and to hype it up, he wanted to try a new sound, and he already did singing, screaming, autotune, and now he wanted to try a Latin song. So 6ix9ine DMs Anuel and tells him he needs to get him on a Spanish song because he wanted to cross over to the Latin community. So they swap numbers, they meet up in Miami, Florida. Anuel writes the whole song for 6ix9ine, which was confirmed last year on Anuel's Instagram story. They get into a studio in Florida, and Anuel gets into his booth, records his whole verse, and when it was time to record 6ix9ine's verse, Anuel had to get into the booth with him and help him, coach him to talk better Spanish because 6ix9ine didn't really speak Spanish at this time. And I just think that's really wholesome. And then later on, they end up going live a day right before the song drops, and they just talk, laugh, they diss people who Anuel was beefing with. By the way, since 2019, Bebe has been my favorite song of all time. By the way, the lyrics are a little different from the snippet versus what actually came out. Anyways, the song did good. Currently it's at 1.4 billion views. It peaked at #1 on Billboard, while Fifi was still in the top 10. 6ix9ine keeps dropping music, and then when it was time to drop his album Dummy Boy, Anuel was featured on another song again. This time it's a new song called Mala. This time, instead of a cute playful beat, we got a dark, devilish, dark Latin vibe that just works great with the song. And as I'm recording this is 6ix9ine's #1 song on Spotify with 383 million streams and 50 million views on YouTube, and also debuted at #7 on the Billboard charts. It was really a hit. Oh, and let me just say, the song Mala isn't even a finished song. As confirmed by the producer, Ovio on the drums, he said that it wasn't even finished. They didn't let him finish it because the album was due and it was already delayed enough, so they just decided to drop it like that, unfinished. But as this album drops, 6ix9ine was already spending days in jail due to his racketeering case in 2018. And while he was locked up, Anuel kept promoting their new song together on his Instagram stories, his posts, and even promoting both their singles together out in his shows, even wearing a whole rainbow outfit saying Free 6ix9ine, chanting Free 6ix9ine. And I just think that's the realest you can get as a friend. So if things are going well, how did things between them get so bad? Well, as you know, 6ix9ine cooperated with the feds against his former gang that did him wrong. Let's just say Anuel didn't really rock with that. Because in 2019, in an interview with Complex, Anuel is asked about 6ix9ine, and he responds by saying, I can't really support that type of people. I just can't support that.
A lot of people here aren't really rocking with him right now because he's ratting and stuff. Does it make you regret doing the record?
Nah, don't make me regret doing the record, but I had love for him. He just did that, so he just stayed inside and stayed myself.
You don't.
I can't support that type of, I can't support that.
And then again in 2020, in another interview, I can't find it, but he was asked, what do you think about 6ix9ine? And he said, I have nothing good or bad to say about him. With me or without me, he's going to be great. He's already doing great, as you can see. But let's go back 1 month before Gooba by 6ix9ine drops. So 6ix9ine is released from prison April 2nd. And the very next day, April 3rd, was Anuel's 2-year anniversary after being released from prison. And so he dropped a song called April 3rd. And in it, there's a line that goes, life goes up and down, just look at Tekashi. People went crazy for it, even I went crazy for it, but 6ix9ine didn't say anything at all. Then, things went good for 6ix9ine with his first 2 singles back. With his first single being Gooba, which was supposed to debut at #1, ended up being #3 after Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber cheated their way on the charts by using 6 credit cards. And by the way, back in 2020, I got one of those limited edition Gooba CDs by 6ix9ine, and it's very cool. I like it. I feel like it's very legendary and a piece of music history. And for his second single, being Trolls, that one actually debuted at #1. Everyone went crazy. I even got myself a Trolls mask, which I can't find, but I also got a Trolls CD, which is really cool. And for his third single back, he wanted to come back with another Latin hit, making it his third Latin song. So to hype it up, he went live with Anuel, and Anuel was looking nervous the whole time, and it's just hilarious because at the time 6ix9ine was the most talked about person in the world, and going live with one of the biggest Latin superstars ever, of course you're gonna get all the eyes on you. And in this live, 6ix9ine tells Anuel that they need to make another collab song because the fans want it, and if they did it, it would most likely go #1, just like Bebe, just like Mala.
Los fans necesitan otro tema, ellos no lo necesitan, pero ahora ellos no pueden esperar para eso.
And this whole time, Anuel just kept looking nervous. And then he started talking about the streets, saying he's a part of it. He can't support what 6ix9ine did. But he also said the people that are saying things about 6ix9ine are just rappers, artists, not real street people. And supported 6ix9ine by saying the streets are the streets and the music is the music.
¿Sabes qué es lo que pasa? Que los que están hablando mierda en realidad son los cantantes. Y saben que la música es la música. Y la calle es la calle. La calle hay que dársela, ¿sabes por qué? Porque en la calle la choteadera no va, pero en la música hay muchos cantantes tratando con la película de que son títeres, que son de la calle, y en realidad no lo son. No lo son.
No tiene nada, eso no tiene nada que ver con la música.
And adding to that, Anuel says that the first 2 songs 6ix9ine and him did both went #1, and now they're gonna make the third one.
Y los dos temas que yo y 6ix9ine hicimos se fueron #1 y vamos a hacer el tercero.
So, did the song drop? Well, no, because days after the live happened, Anuel was interviewed and asked about 6ix9ine, and asked if him and 6ix9ine were gonna drop the song together. Anuel responds by saying, "This is serious, there won't be any featuring. I have a lot of fans who want that feature, but 90% of my fans are fans of me because of what I represent, and that's the streets. Snitching doesn't get no promotion around here."
¿Va a haber sí o no una canción con 6ix9ine?
Esto es sencillo, no va a haber featuring. El negocio jamás, por más que yo tengo muchos fanáticos que quieren hacer featuring, pero el 90% de mis fanáticos son fanáticos de lo que represento la calle, la vida real de la calle. Mira, a todo el que está confundido, yo no patrocino la cabrona choteadera.
Which I think is just really, really dumb because he's literally now just going against what he just said a couple days before the interview happened. And so after that, everyone saw it, 6ix9ine saw it, and the song was dropped without Anuel. It was still a great song. I loved it. I was disappointed, but the song is still great. It's currently at 280 million views on YouTube, over 80 million streams on Spotify, and it debuted at #4 on the Billboard charts. So after that, everything went quiet for about 2 months from July to the end of August, because September 4th, 6ix9ine dropped his second album, Tattletales. And of course, for more promo, 6ix9ine went on a Spanish interview with Gordo y la Flaca. And in the interview, he was asked about Anuel, and he responds by saying him and Anuel talked the whole time while he was locked up in prison or jail. Even after Anuel knew that 6ix9ine was cooperating, he still kept calling him daily, talking as best friends as they were. And remember, back in 2019, when Anuel did the interview with Complex, he called 6ix9ine that same day and apologized for what he said on the interview, and told 6ix9ine that he knew that he had to say it to protect his career, protect his street cred. And 6ix9ine also reveals that Anuel was already on the song Yaya before they even went live together, so it was ready for months.
Él dice que nunca va a grabar con alguien que choteó. Eso es mentira. Eso es mentira para. Mira. Esa es la canción Yaya.
And after exposing all that, 6ix9ine was asked if he would ever work with Anuel again, and he said of course, as soon as he stops being such a hypocrite. And after that, things become quiet. 6ix9ine leaves the industry, media, after feeling the system completely blackballed him. And Anuel leaves the industry as well that same year due to depression, mental health. And Anuel was silent for months, but came back in 2021 with a collab album with Ozuna. And then literally the next month, in February, 6ix9ine also comes back to music with a single, Zaza. But after that single came out, 6ix9ine went on a podcast with Academics and Wack 100 and revealed that he caught Anuel in the streets out in Miami, I think, and tried to get a one-on-one conversation with him in private, but Anuel refused, and 6ix9ine told him just to leave it at that then, don't start dissing, don't start talking, leave it at that, leave it.
I run into all these rappers. Like I said, I ran into Anuel. I told him very nicely. I went up to him. I was by myself. I was with my man Bradley. He was with one other guy. It was just 2-on-2. Said, yo, Anuel, what's up? He already went on the NS. He wanted to fight me, all type of shit. I said, yo, let's go over here and talk. He said, for what? Ain't nothing to talk about. Right, let's go over here and talk. Like, nah, let's just leave it like that. He said, yo, he said this in Spanish. He said, I know you be here all the time. My people call me. If I wanted something to happen, it would have been happening, but I don't have no problems with you. You see, on the internet, it's always something different.
And Anuel went on his story saying that he was a liar and no one wanted to do anything to him, and if he wanted to, he would have done something to 6ix9ine. And then after that, Anuel kept dropping music. 6ix9ine went silent again. But also that same year, 2021, a leaked snippet came out of an original version of a song named Ric Flair, where Anuel says, "They come out like Tekashi pointing at me in court." And I assume he changed this just due to the fact that Anuel didn't want any beef with 6ix9ine anymore. I don't think it was because he was scared. I just think he thinks there's no reason to hate on him anymore. Everything is quiet once again until June of 2023, when 6ix9ine starts dating Anuel's ex-wife and mother of his kid, Yailin. And I think 6ix9ine made a huge mistake by being with her, as you saw in my last video. So 6ix9ine dates his ex, but Anuel doesn't say anything at all because he doesn't care about him or her anymore. And like I said in the last video, Anuel ends up posting his and Yailin's kid on his Instagram, and 6ix9ine gets mad at that, calls him a rat, and much other things. Anuel rants on his Instagram story saying that he's the one who wrote Bebe, and that's why 6ix9ine has never had another hit since. 6ix9ine posts more stories showing pics of Yailin beat up and said Anuel did this to her while she was still pregnant. And Anuel responded by saying it was all makeup and he was done speaking on the topic. Oh, and a couple months ago, a video came out of 6ix9ine supposedly stopping Anuel's alleged brother from entering a club, and it was nothing really, but it did get a bit aggressive by 6ix9ine pushing him, and that's it. It's not confirmed though if it is or not his brother. Also, 6ix9ine and Yailin end up performing the show, and 6ix9ine ends up performing the Yaya, but the version with Anuel's verse on it. And then again, like I said in my last video, in December of 2023, 6ix9ine is mentioned by Anuel in a diss song he did to another artist by saying 6ix9ine can die, I have no sympathy for that snitch, and also said he's a punching bag to the mother of his kid. And as of right now, 2024, there is nothing to speak on at all, no beefs, no nothing. But a little update to the last video, 6ix9ine was released from jail, but I think Yailin put a restraining order on 6ix9ine so he wouldn't go see her, stay away from her. But literally a day after, 6ix9ine ends up buying her a new car and literally delivers it to her in person. Well, that's just 6ix9ine. He likes his toxic girls. He likes being toxic. I hope one day him and Anuel can collab again. If they do, you know I'm going to be there, losing my marbles, losing everything. And yeah, that's the end of the video. I want to say thank you for the last video. Huge support, huge feedback. I tried my best to make this video even better than the last by putting videos, putting music, trying to talk better, and trying to cut up more things. But yeah, if there's still more things I need to add, let me know. So I hope y'all like this video better than the last one. I'll always try to improve the videos, and I guess for now we're doing a little bit of more commentary videos rather than gaming videos. Thanks to whoever watched the video through. It was nice. Thank you for the watch time, and please like the video. Please comment whatever you want. Comment your favorite color, favorite book by Ben 10. I don't know. Shout out to anyone who reposted my last video and shared it. Thank you. Let me know what I should make a video on next. Okay, bye bye.